So you've applied your builder gel overlay and you want to dip over them, but how the heck are you going to do that? What's up, nail crew? It's Nicole, your fellow nail obsessed DIYer. Today we're going to talk about just that. Is it possible to apply a dip powder mani over a builder gel overlay? Well, guess what? It is totally possible, and I'm going to walk you through how to do that today. Once you finish applying your builder gel overlay, once everything is cured, you will wipe off your nails with some isopropyl alcohol on a lint-free wipe, and then you're going to grab out a buffing block, because the first thing you want to do is you want to make sure that your builder gel is smoothed out and even. So you want to use either a buffing block or a flexible file. I used a flexible file to even mine out and make it smooth. And then what you're going to do is you're going to undo what you just did, but not completely. So what I mean by that is you're going to take the 100 side of a 180 grit file, and you're going to gently rough up the surface that you just smoothed out. So the reason I buff first is to make sure that my builder gel is nice and even. And then I take the 100 side of my nail file and scratch up the surface to give the dip something to adhere to. Because if you just try to dip directly over your builder gel, then it's likely going to peel right off. First of all, if you don't wipe off the tacky layer and you're using dip liquids, the dip liquids are literally going to peel right off with your dip powder mani. So I go through and I wipe off the tacky layer, and then I buff, and then I rough up the surface with that 100 side of the 180 grit file. Once I'm all done doing that, I make sure that my shape is ready to go, and then I spray my nails with isopropyl alcohol, I wipe them off, and then I go through with a true nail dehydrator. The reason I like to do that is just to make sure that I got off all of the dust, anything that I had left on my nails from when I filed it. Then you're going to dehydrate your nails, and this is the step that's key to getting your dip manis to stick. After you dehydrate your nails, you're going to go in with a layer of dip base over every single nail and make sure it's really, really thin. Cap your edges and let that dry. That's the key to getting your dip powder manis to stick over top of your builder gel. You can try doing it without doing the step of the extra layer of dip base that you let totally dry. I have done that before, but let me tell you, it does not last as long for me. Now, some people, maybe they'd be able to get it to work without the extra layer of dip base underneath there, but for me, the manis last so well. I mean, they are stuck literally like glue, because dip base is basically a glue, right? It's a nail glue. So my mani sticks so well when I do that thin layer of dip base and let it fully dry. Now, since you're not using any powder first on that first layer of dip base, it does take a lot longer to dry. So I typically like to set my hand by some kind of fan or something so it dries a little faster, else you're sitting there for quite a few minutes to wait for that layer of dip base to dry because there's no dip powder to soak it up. So once that first layer, that really thin layer of dip base is totally dry, then you can go in and you can start with your dip mani. So you've already done your builder gel as the base, and you've most likely built an apex. Then you don't have to worry about building an apex with your dip powder. The apex is just the highest point of your nail that's going to keep it nice and strong if you would bump it. So like if you press down on your nail, on the tip of your nail, you're going to see like a little kind of like white spot come up in the middle of your nail. That's where your natural apex should be. And I use that like as a guide for my nails. And now at this point, since I've been using builder gel for like over 3 years, I know on all my nails where my natural apex is from doing that a couple times. You already have that apex built, so you can just go right in with your dip powder mani and do 2 layers of it like you normally would, and you can do them the full way back on your nails. So something that I really try to do when I'm dipping directly over builder gel, and I try to do this regardless of what kind of dip mani I'm doing, I try to keep my layers really, really thin. I want to make sure that they are as thin as possible because I don't want my nails super thick when I already have builder gel as an overlay and as a base on the bottom of my nail. For each dip, I push my cuticles back. I wipe off a majority of the dip base from the brush on the inside of the dip base bottle before I apply it to my nails. And pushing my cuticles back like that helps me not flood them as much. If your hands are like mine, your cuticles, I don't know, my cuticles just move a lot. So pushing them back before every dip really allows me to get that nice, even cuticle line and make sure that I'm not flooding it. Now, some of the other things that help you with not flooding your cuticles are applying your dip base thinly, and that starts with wiping off a majority of that dip base on the inside of the bottle before you apply it to your nail. And when you're applying dip base to your nail, it is okay to press down into your nail. You don't want to press so hard that you're like sloshing the dip base everywhere, but you really want to use up the dip base that is on that brush because you wiped a majority of it off. And make sure you get onto the, on the sides of your nails as well. And if I'm going to be wearing a dip mani for a while, like this one in this video, I wore for 11 days. So I made sure I capped my edges with the dip powder as well. So when I did my dip base, I did a little bit on the tip of my nail. And this way my entire nail was covered in the dip powder. And I poured the powder over. This is a slightly shimmery sheen, has a sheen to it, like a pink sheen to it. It's called Blastus Christmas Music. I was going to Disney World right before I put this mani on, so I wanted something like really Christmassy. But the night that I did it, I decided to fix my builder gel. And so by the time I was ready to do my actual mani, like I had all this stuff planned, and then I got to my mani and I was exhausted. It was like an hour and a half later than I normally start my nails. And I was like, you know what? There is no way I'm going to be able to do any kind of like fun designs. I had decals picked out, I had glitters, and then I just was like, literally like, F it, screw it. I'm just doing one color on all 10 nails and we're going to go with it. And you know what? It was actually like really nice to wear the same color for 10 days. If you're still struggling with basic dip application, make sure you check out the link in my first pinned comment. It is for my Dip Nails 101 guide, the ultimate guide to dipping your nails at home. It's over 45 pages of everything you need from prep to application to removal, and it walks you through without any details left out. There is no gatekeeping in these guides, and you have everything you need right at your fingertips. So if you want to do a one color mani, absolutely. You know, we're doing our own nails. Do whatever color feels good to you. If you want to wear 10 different colors on your nails, this is why we're doing them at home. You can do that yourself and wear whatever you want. For me, I typically do mismatched nails, but not for this mani here. So whenever I am doing one color on all 10 nails, I typically go through and do my 2 layers of the color on both hands. So like on my left hand, I went through and I did my 2 dip layers of the red. And then on my right hand, I went through and I did my 2 dip layers of the red as well. And then I go back and I apply my clear dip powder as the last dip to all of them. Anytime I'm using a really pigmented color, I like to make sure that I trace around the outside of my cuticles and on my nail sides to ensure that I'm not getting any of that powder stuck, especially during the cold winter months where my hands are insanely dry. I notice that the powder really like adheres to my skin and gets stuck in all the little cracks and crevices because I don't have any cuticle oil on when I'm doing my manis, so everything just gets stuck on my super dry skin. So I really try to make sure I get off as much as I possibly can before the dip powder has a chance to dry and I move on to my next layer. I really try to get that all off, either with one of these little plastic stabby sticks, or I'll also use an orange wood stick sometimes as well, depending, I don't know, just kind of depending on what mood I'm in and what I feel like using. Now, the nice thing about ending your mani with the layer of clear dip powder is if you kind of mess up your color a little bit, the clear dip powder will fill in all those divots and really allow your mani to look nice and even. So on my pointer finger on my left hand, when I was applying the dip base, I just wasn't paying attention on the second layer and applied way too much dip base. You'll notice that there's almost like a little ridge on my pointer finger, but once I do my clear dip powder and then I activate and buff it, you will not be able to notice it at the end. And once my nails are done, I kept looking for it throughout, the week that I had this mani on, or the 10, 11 days. I literally could not see that because the clear dip powder kind of filled in any of those leftover ridges. And I like to pour my clear dip powder over. It just allows it to lay really nice and thin. And I feel like it just fills in the gaps, any gaps that you have on your nail, like on that on that pointer finger where I accidentally put a little too much dip base and there was kind of a ridge. It just filled everything in so beautifully. And since this clear is crystal clear, it's called Original Glass from OG Dip Powder. The red color is from there as well. If you use a really crystal clear dip powder as your last layer, then it's going to fill those ridges in. And you want to make sure no matter what layer you're doing of your dip powder. Brush off the excess really, really well with a stiff nail brush. That is going to keep your nails from not being so thick. I always see posts on Facebook asking, opinions on who uses clear as their last dip and who doesn't. And I try to make sure I always comment, because things like this where you need to kind of fill in gaps where you put too much powder on or something, clear is going to do that. And it's not going to work if you try to do another layer. There's something about the clear dip powder that just kind of fills it in nicely without having to make it much thicker. If I tried to do another layer of the red over this, it would have ended up being a lot thicker than when I just poured the clear dip powder over it, because clear dip powder, it doesn't have any pigment or anything like that in it. It is just the plain clear, which is the base of a lot of the colors. Once I finish applying my clear, I brush it off really well, and then I go with my activator so my nails can start to harden. And I did my left hand first so that as my left hand was hardening, then I could do the clear on my right hand so that my left would be hardening while my right hand I was finishing the clear. I like to do that if I'm doing 10 colors, just because it makes it a little bit easier, because then you're ready to go and you're ready to file. Now, something that I kept in here that, I didn't have to keep in, but I wanted to show you guys, like sometimes things mess up. I did not wait long enough to start to buff and shape on my left hand. I was just really anxious to get this mani over. I wanted to get some sleep before we went on vacation. And what did I do? I tried filing before it was actually hardened. So I had to e-file the dip color off and then redo the red, 2 dips on those finger and on my thumb, and then do another layer of clear. And I waited the appropriate amount of time to let it harden. So that's something you need to be aware of. I was just so tired. I typically remember to tap my nails, and once you hear like this hollow, hard tapping sound, then you know that your nails are ready to file and shape. Well, did I do that the night that I did this mani? No, because I was so tired. I totally forgot. I just started filing, and for some reason my thumb just took a little bit longer to harden than my other nails, because my other nails were fine. They were ready to go when I went to file them. But make sure you do that before you go and you file. You don't want to do what I did and have to, redo a nail because you didn't wait for it to harden. If you watch my channel, I like to keep it real, and I had to keep that in there just to show everybody we all make mistakes. We're DIYers. We're doing it at night after our kids are in bed, or after, we get off work or whatever. We make mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes, but I fixed it quickly. And then I was like, all right, I am finally ready to file and shape. So I like to go in with my buffing block first and smooth out my nails before I fix any of the shaping that got off from dipping. Dipping adds bulk, so sometimes the shaping can get a little bit wonky after you've dipped, and I like to just go around with the hand file to fix that up. By the time I got to this part and doing the top coating, I was so happy. I was like, okay, do not mess anything up. You cannot fix this. It is so late at night. You need to remember how to top coat correctly, Nicole. So I'm using OG dip powder liquids, and with those dip liquids, you want to top coat one hand at a time. You do 5 nails, heavy activator. And heavy activator means you do 2 passes of the activator on each nail. So I start with my thumb and then go all the way through my pinky. When I get to my pinky, I wait 10 seconds and then go back to my thumb, and you do 2 to 3 quick strokes of top coat. And you want to make sure that you float the top coat brush. That's going to keep your top coat brush from hardening, which people call contaminating. Regardless of the brand of dip liquids that I'm using, I make sure that I float both layers of top coat. I just got in the habit, and it's helped me to not contaminate brushes so much better now that I float them both. And to be honest, I'm not super particular, and if the liquids are good, they should easily level out and give you a beautiful top coat without having to go crazy and press them in. Since I was going to be wearing this mani for a while, I made sure that I kept my edges. I do that pretty much all the time anyways, out of habit, but especially if you're going to be wearing your nails for a long time, capping your edges will seal everything in really nicely. Now, if you need more help with your builder gel that I use as the base on this mani, make sure you check out the next video where I go over how to apply it. Thanks for joining me today, nail crew.